The girls both said it's like one of the favorite hikes they've ever done.
They look sweet and innocent. They're savages.
It's mentally fatiguing every time you have to move your house.
It gives my personality a goal, and I think I just need a goal. We scope it out ninja style, and then we go in for the kill. Alright, so this is Tidal Falls. This is where you can kind of get a good idea of what the tides can do and how powerful they are. A lot of ships got stranded on this shore right here because they still had to get inland to deliver coal and, you know, other things that time period needed.
And this got really, really rough. The old photos are fascinating. This is such a cool spot if you're here right at low tide, and we've heard especially in August. So if you're coming to Maine and you're gonna be in this area in August, they have tons of starfish, like really big orange and purple.
They're still there. We haven't gone to look yet.
We'll see. I've heard that it's much better in August. I think the last time they were here, they said that they counted over 100, which sounds a whole lot like when we went to Oregon and all the ones that Layla found when we were on the Oregon coast.
I read that we're supposed to be here like an hour and a half after low tide to get the most dramatic effects. I think that's too late because that's when we're here, and I think it's too high now to see all of what we
actually
want to
see the falls. So you're coming here to see the tidal pools and all of the little creatures that are in here, but then you're also coming to see how the rocks are actually making a little bit of like whitewater action, and that's what makes it so rough coming into this inlet.
Let's go see if we can find some starfish.
I know. Here's my suggestion. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to just wander around, just sit around and enjoy and like explore all those little crevices. It's so fun.
I think that's what's good about the Maine coast. Like, yeah, it's not spectacular like the Grand Canyon, one big giant view. It's just all of it together. You constantly see stuff.
You find like treasures everywhere. It's awesome.
So that's why we're like half an hour up the coast, half an hour up the coast. It's taken us forever to even get going up this coast because there's just so much to see. Although I will say that view from Beehive is pretty spectacular.
That's a must.
That makes you almost feel like you're in a different spot.
It's crazy.
That color of that water, seeing the beach, and just because it's such a sheer cliff, you're looking straight down on it.
Stunning. The girls both said it's like one of the favorite hikes they've ever done. Those girls have done some pretty amazing hikes. Look at the birds out on the rocks.
Yeah, I hear eagles. I don't know where they are, but I hear eagles.
You can hear them. Osprey, eagles. This is a really major area for birding as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, there are boat tours and there's all kinds of stuff. There's puffins,
we had a puffin boat tour
Monday.
Started, but I think they're going to cancel it and we got to keep on going.
I know. The weather is just not looking good. So another time, another someday we'll get that in.
As expected, the girls already found
Look at this.
starfish. Maybe we're not too late here.
I don't know. Look over here.
I can't believe how
Gosh, look how
colorful
bright they are.
That's insane.
This one's
Little guy.
Go over to this one.
Go over here?
Yeah, this
smaller
one's
one,
like
but one, but it's so cute.
it's the perfect little.
What color is it? Oh my gosh, this is like perfect. It's like, here, look at me. Look at me. Look at that thing. It does. It reminds me of the Oregon and Washington coast. See any more?
No, we've only found the ones right there.
We'll have to just keep on looking. I want to see if we can find an orange one. They said there's orange ones here, right? Maybe?
The orange ones in Oregon, the big ones are always super far out and you can never find them.
Maybe they're different species but the same. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know my starfish science. So what do you guys like better? Do you like exploring during the day or at night?
Night.
It's so funny.
Well, it makes sense. There's way more that are out.
It's so funny.
Like cats dark, the seagulls can't find you.
There's so much out there. All the crabs are like all over the place. It was fun last night. Now we're seeing it in the day in a different location. What's awesome about some of these campsites we've been getting is you just walk out your back door and you can explore the ocean, because the tides bring in something brand new every single day. Every single tide. That's what's awesome about the ocean and the tides. It's life. It's similar to what we did the other day. We took night shots around the loop road, and the next day we explored it by day. We check things out at night first. We scope it out ninja style, and then we go in for the kill.
Ninja? You're a ninja? Get out of here! You're a ninja!
Yes, I am a ninja.
That's so serious.
All right, we're gonna find that orange one.
That's so cool.
Oh,
they go pretty fast when they want to. Yeah.
So the girls were saying that they're a little bit more soft. Oh my gosh, way more soft.
The other ones were like really spiky.
We're just softies on the East Coast.
Those ones.
See how fast this thing's going?
Oh yeah, moving.
look at that
Yeah, they're
one.
a little bit harder on the West Coast, or maybe those get harder too as they get older.
Maybe.
I didn't actually know what starfish ate. So apparently they're strong enough that they get a hold of clams and pry them open, put their stomachs outside of them and eat the inside of the clam. That's what starfish do. They look sweet and innocent. They're savages.
Their stomachs go outside of themselves.
That's some alien stuff right there.
I completely just spilled coffee all down in front of me, so that's just who I am.
Yeah. I think you just got a crab. Good job, Seagull. You'll always be an eagle to me, Seagull. All right, so this is about 3 hours after low tide, and this is the trick. The river is essentially running backwards right now. So that's the trick. I think there's about 8 of these particular rivers that do this in Maine. I don't know the other ones by name, but I know this one, Tidal Falls. And it's interesting. I've never watched it before, but the river is running inland.
Right, the opposite direction.
So that's pretty neat. You can hear the eagles. There's a seal that keeps
I know, he keeps popping up over here.
popping up over by that seagull over there. I gotta see if I can get a shot of. Oh, there's his head right there.
I know.
All right, I gotta get this shot. But this is really, really interesting. 3 hours after low tide, and it is running hard. When we got here, you could see it was pretty placid. You know, kind of equaled out. But this is.
It's funny, we were all the way down on the end, and I thought a boat was coming down through because you could start to hear like the water
These rapids right here are starting to pick up. So this is great. I'm glad we stuck around. So a lot of people say like, wow, geez, you could just film everything and you kind of ruin the experience for yourself. My personality, this is not ruining it. Had I not been a photographer, had I not been trying to film this, I'd have come here, I'd have looked around, and I'd have left. But as a photographer, I'm like, I want to see the change, and it's worth it to me. So
yeah.
Otherwise, we might have left already and not stuck around just because I got to see the progress. I got to see the change.
You know.
It gives my personality a goal, and I think I just need a goal.
One point that I will bring up from like a mom's perspective, there was a family looking around, walking towards us while we were all the way down on the other end of the beach, and their son must have been like 3, and he was literally just giggling at the things his dad was pointing out in the tide pools.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good reminder that you need to take your kids out and let them explore nature, let them see things they've never seen before.
They're never too young.
That never, ever, ever. They had a 1-year-old with them too, and they were carrying her and letting her like walk around the rocks. Like there are so many benefits to your kids learning how to explore.
Don't have kids
so
and settle in, because then,
no.
I mean, a body in motion stays in motion. It's the same for when you get old. I hope that's the case, because I'm going to keep on moving. But as soon as you settle in, I think you lose that, I don't know, that vigor for life. So when you have kids, keep on going. We say it all the time. Your kids come into your life, you don't go into theirs when you have kids.
That's right. That's right.
I'm on a soapbox at this point, but I mean, to an extent, you have to change some of the things you do in your life, but kids are adaptable. Keep up with your adventures, even if you have little ones. Don't say, I'll wait until they get older. Keep going. Right.
That's how they learn. That's how their brains start growing and creating all those new synapses. Let them walk on the rocks and trip and fall and see new things. It's the best. That seal's coming closer.
I gotta get the seal.
Look at him.
it's time to hook up again and start moving up the coast of Maine. Our luck ran out. We're out of the sun right now, but we enjoyed the time that we had here. There's just something unique about having fishing boats and lobster boats out in your backyard that you can just watch. Watching the fog roll in here every day has been pretty amazing. Probably can't hear me now because these guys are keeping this place up.
Just a traveler, passing through for time.
So we couldn't really film anymore there because it was getting kind of loud.
They were mowing. So we're back on the road. We are heading up to Sunset Point Campground in Harrington. There are all these just really great little campsites that we're finding on Campendium that are right on the water and just kind of slowly trickling up the coast. I love it.
Like we just said, this is awesome. We're taking these 35-minute drive days, which is so different than when we're traveling out west where it's like 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. Like 35 minutes, you're like, you're going to the store, no big deal. It is kind of mentally fatiguing simply hooking up. If you have to hook up, even just to move sites in a campground, you're moving your house.
Yes.
So you can't skip steps. There's nothing different you can do. You can still break stuff. Just because you're moving quickly through an RV park, I mean, it's still a lot of work. You do all the same stuff to move through a campground or to move 30 minutes. It's all the same. It takes a lot of time. It's mentally fatiguing every time you have to move your house because there's a lot riding on that. A lot of you guys mentioned in a few episodes ago when we backed into that Thousand Trails site at the Narrows that our back tail light was out.
Thank you to everyone who noticed.
I didn't realize it was doing that. I think that is a residual effect from our blowout, which is very minimal. So it didn't break any wires, but it loosened one of the connections, so it's sporadic, on and off. So I have to get some new connections at this next place we're going to. It works now. Everything's good now.
We're not traveling with it out.
But there's something loose in there and I want to make sure it stays on all the time. I thought it was a bulb. It's not a bulb. It was the connection. So I assume, yes, it was from the tire blow. Maybe a little fragment went back there.
That is a good tip though. Make sure you have extra bulbs with you just in case that goes out. So we always have a few in the truck with us, and Corey always suggests having a multimeter as well so that if the bulb is still not working, you can actually test if it's the bulb or if you're not getting any power to the circuit.
And don't let the multimeter like stress you out. I am not an electrician, but I do know a few things, and if you know simply putting things on the negative and the positive and you can read voltage, that's it. You're probably not going to be able to solve any of the complex issues, just like I probably can't, but at least you can read voltage.
Sure, it's problem solving. You're able to know, okay, I need help further with this, or it is a bad bulb and I just need to get a new bulb.
So we love that campground. It was great.
It was amazing. If you guys are ever traveling up through and you want to be able to visit the Scudic Peninsula and all those things, I know the weather wasn't great for us, so we didn't get to do a ton, but even still just driving around, even in the fog, was incredible. Dave and Sue are the owners of Acadia Seashore, and they work with cousin Dave, who is also there with his wife. They were some of the best camp hosts we have seen in a long time. They take a lot of pride, and they actually are from our hometown originally, which is a riot, and they bought the campground as like their next adventure almost the exact same time that we hit the road. So we had a really good time talking with them and hearing about their story, and this is their someday that they envisioned, and we just think it's really cool when we get to hear people's stories. And we love places that are family owned and family run. There's just a different feel when
the views don't hurt.
The views definitely don't hurt.
Seeing the lobster boats, seeing the fog clear, and seeing Mount Desert Island just kind of appear, and seeing Cadillac Mountain, it's just
awesome.
It's a really good spot. So that's another point. Like, your someday doesn't look like our someday.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be RVing. It doesn't have to look the same.
It's your dream. It's like what you've always hoped you would do. And the other thing I want to make sure that we share as well is that your someday doesn't stay the same. There are some people that hit the road full time and they did it for a year or 2 years, and then they moved on to the next thing. And we've gotten messages before saying, you know, people don't want to do this lifestyle and hit the road because they're afraid they'll only do it for a year and then they'll find something else. And that's not a bad thing. Like, you don't have to stay on the road for 6 years. Do what you feel is best for your family, and if it's just a year, you will make memories and you will find what that next thing is.
Or if it's just weekend trips and Airbnbs. We thought our someday was simply moving down south. We shifted, and this is now what we are desiring. So it keeps changing. It doesn't always look the same.
Exactly. So do what you feel is best and enjoy, and make sure you share that with us because we love hearing what your somedays are.